Hey guys, thanks for tuning us in for this start of Season 2 of Good Questions with Cameron Dole. Special guests on this episode include Dr. Mireya Mayor. We'll also visit with Rob Belushi. The Season 2 of Get a Clue premieres today on the Game Show Network. We'll also share a visit that I had just before Christmas with our good friend Hayden Haddock. We'll talk about his single Where You Come In, new music upcoming, and also some tour dates for 2021. If you would, please take the time to subscribe, drop a like, comment, leave some feedback, and share with your friends. Well, 2020 was a year that I used the term heavy quite possibly more than ever. Now, the word describes so much. Our emotions, finances, learning new ways of doing things. But 2020 was also an opportunity for many of us to look inside of ourselves, and that's kind of what brought this whole podcast about, which is why I'm still learning about podcasting each and every day. I do want to say thanks to you for taking the time to listen and be part of this journey with me. Now, we've had great guests so far, and I look forward to sharing more great visits over the days, weeks, months, hopefully even years to come. Well, starting off our Season 2 is going to be Dr. Mireya Mayor. We'll be visiting about the search for Bigfoot continuing as Expedition Bigfoot returned last night on Travel Channel. First off, Dr. Mayor, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show.
It's my pleasure. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
And unlike a lot of folks in 2020, you guys actually were able to take advantage of some of the downtime in that search for Bigfoot. And Dr. Mayor, tell us a little bit about how important that extra time was this year.
Well, what made this really exciting is that we were actually going out at a time when we know that animals all over the world were acting very strangely. Basically, animals were showing up in places that they'd never shown up before. Animals were turning up that we hadn't seen in many, many years. And so we thought this was a really unique period in time, like no other, to go and find something that if it's out there, has been hiding from us really well, right? The ultimate social distancer. So we hope that we were capitalizing on what we were seeing. I study lemurs. I have been for about 20 years. And lemurs, which are generally very shy animals, were turning up in major cities. So it's pretty incredible. So we thought this gave us a really unique chance, not to mention we're still using the algorithm, which really pinpointed where we should be going. We were following what is basically repeat migration patterns that we know of other animals. It seems to be the case with Bigfoot sightings that they tend to return to the same place, and that at least that's what's reported. And so this was just a really special time to be out there.
Now, Dr. Mayor, have you ever, when did your interest, I guess I should say, where did your interest first get sparked for the search for Bigfoot as well?
Well, I have been a primatologist for nearly 2 decades, and my interest really lies in going after animals that are unknown to science. I discovered the world's smallest primate in Madagascar. Animals that have not been studied before because it's too difficult. People couldn't find them. There's several examples of those that I was successfully able to find and study for long periods of time. So I'm really interested in the possibility of discovery and the search and expeditions. And so this presented a really unique opportunity. I thought, if it's out there, then I want to be the one to find it. And, as Jane Goodall, to quote Jane Goodall, I really hope it is, right? So I love the possibility of discovery, and this really was that chance to go out and find something.
Now you talk about the gadgets, the gizmos, and all the technical jargon as well. How much of the good old fashioned tracking actually takes place in the expeditions that we don't actually see?
Oh, a whole lot. So, and it's funny because I'm actually what you would call an old school explorer, right? I like boots on the ground. I feel like that's the best way to do it. And so we would spend no less than 10 hours a night, I should say, because we would start in the afternoon and go all through the night, searching for eye shine. And during the day, we would search for tracks. We would look for evidence of sort of disruption in nature. You know, when you're out in the forest, there's a lot of disorder. So when something looks orderly, that's actually what catches your eye. And so we were doing boots on the ground expedition the entire time we were out there. As much as the technology helps, which it really does, it gives us an edge. And because we're out there for a limited amount of time, it really helps to make up for, you know, not having, say, 6 months to be out there. But there's nothing like just putting your eyes and your feet on the ground to really look for something like this.
And how much does the excitement grow for you as you feel like you're getting closer to the to a new species, basically, because folks have never we don't have one on exhibit, if you will.
Right. So here's the way that I look at it. There's tens of thousands of eyewitness reports, right? Even if they're all wrong, except for one. All we need is one to be true. For me, the search and the mission is worth doing because it means that there is something out there. We're having a 1-hour special that's premiering on Sunday, January 3rd. It's called New Evidence, where the team and I review all of the evidence that we accumulated last year. And we take that into this next expedition for the new series. And there's a lot of stuff that that I learned from last year, really eye-opening stuff. You know, I had never been out going on a Bigfoot search or a hunt. And now my eye was a little more attuned to the things that we should be out and looking for. And all I can say is, this expedition changed me and it changed my view. There are things that we saw and evidence that we found and things that we recorded that really changed the way I look at this.
And Dr. Mayor, as the female Indiana Jones, as you've been called so many times, how has right. how has this expedition maybe changed your process moving forward in expeditions?
Well, you know, it's funny that you asked me that because I went into this really not knowing what Bigfoot hunters do, and what I came to learn is that they actually don't do things much differently than primatologists do out in the field when we're tracking, for example, gorillas. I use the same skills that me and the local trackers use to find gorillas and other animals that are really difficult to find. And it's basically these small clues that they leave behind. We collected hair samples. We found some really exciting footprints. There's other evidence that I can't disclose at the moment that it's like I said, this expedition really changed up the game.
That's awesome. And again, the season continues on Travel Channel. And Dr. Mayor, I always want to make sure and let folks know where they can keep up with everything you've got going on social media wise as well.
Yeah, so you can find me across Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Mireya Mayor. And of course, you can find all that on my website, MireyaMayor.com.
All right. Well, Dr. Mireya Mayor, it has been a privilege to visit with you this morning. Hope you have a great rest of your week, and hopefully we can catch up again real soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Hope you tune in.
Up next, we visit with game show host off the Game Show Network from Get a Clue. Rob Belushi visits about season number 2, which premieres today. First off, Rob, Happy New Year, my friend.
Happy New Year to you and to all your listeners. Thank you for having me.
Now, the new season of Get a Clue, and in the midst of the craziness that we're a part of, Rob, how much different did things look coming for making season 2 come to fruition, if you will?
Oh my goodness! You know, it was a deliberate and artful production, navigating some of the challenges that we're all facing right now. And Game Show Network did a great job of keeping everyone safe, our contestants, our crew, our producers. But there were a couple changes made to the show. We took our 4-person teams and took them down to 3 so we could, you know, get to know them better and also keep everyone safe at a safe distance. Instead of me running back and forth like the human hamster I was in season 1, we have me just kind of posted up in the center of the stage, steadying the ship as opposed to, running around as much, screaming and yelling. So It's a more focused show. You get to know our contestants a little bit better, and things play out in a little more controlled way. Our first 2 rounds are slightly different as well. So the first round, if you're a fan of the show, you'll notice that our contestants are only allowed 1 guess instead of multiple. And then in round 2, instead of a multiple guess round, it is a list of 7 words that our team captain gives clues to and the other team members play. So small changes that we think make the show a lot more fun and a lot better. And we think if you watch Get a Clue Season 2, starting today at 4:30 on Game Show Network and Game Show Network app, you will agree. But in the end, I'm incredibly proud of our producers and our network and all our contestants for coming together, give new episodes to our fans because they've been wanting them. And it was tough to do, but it was difficult without being unpleasant.
Now, Rob, was game show hosting, was that ever on your timeline of bullet points of things that you were looking forward to doing at a younger age, if you will?
I gotta say, not really. Excuse me. I never thought I would be a good host. It wasn't something that I had just a space that I thought I would inhabit. I think we all kind of maybe think, I don't know, have a little shyness about being ourselves on TV, and I definitely did. But, the producer at Game Show Network, Jay James, saw me for something else, and he said, I think you'd make a great host. Let's give it a shot. And he knows a lot more than me, so I just said, okay, I'm going to trust you on this. And it's been the most fun job I've ever had. I get to meet new people. I get to make them comfortable and have fun. And I get to give away money to people. So really, the things we plan for ourselves are great, but sometimes surprises are the best thing to allow into your life. And that certainly has been true with hosting on Game Show Network. It's an incredible company to work for. They really support you and make you feel valued. And, in any workplace, that's what we all want.
That's right. And Rob, during the pandemic and all the craziness that everybody's had to endure, what has been the bright spot for you? Maybe a newfound talent that you have.
Oh man, I guess the bright spot has been trying to find ways to be in service to others, and I guess the ability to find a routine. My life is not exactly a 9-to-5 life, so it's important to stay busy, and I set a routine for myself. And then I've tried to volunteer and donate and be helpful to other people around me. Different populations, and through Zoom and virtual arenas, I'm able to kind of reach out a hand more. So I also have a charity in Los Angeles that I work for called Angels at Risk, and I've been involved with them. So it's given me time to just focus on my family and focus on others around me.
There you go. And again, the season number 2 coming up 4:30 Eastern, maybe 4:30 by the time we get there too. 3:30 local time.
4:30.
That's right. Well, Get a Clue. Check it out on GSN. And Rob, always want to make sure and let our listeners know where they can keep up with everything social media-wise as well, my friend.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, at Rob Belushi on Instagram and Twitter, and at Game Show Network on Instagram and Twitter. We'd love to see you there.
All right. Well, Rob, Happy New Year to you, man. Best of success with the new season as well.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thanks for having me.
All right, guys, our next guest, I guess we could now say, well, other than Meathead, our monthly guest that talks about grilling, Hayden Haddock is our second most visited guest here on the podcast. And Hayden, I appreciate you taking the time to visit with us, and obviously getting ready for Christmas a little different this year around, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much for having me back on. I always appreciate it. It's always a good time. And, Yeah, like I told you, we're out here doing Christmas a little early, and I'm sure you can see in the background here in I'm in the DFW area. It's about 70 degrees, sunny. So we're doesn't really feel like Christmas, but it's could be worse.
That's the Texas Christmas, though, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Now tell us what's been going on since we visited last. I mean, we mentioned before we came on the air, it seems like every time we talk, something big happens within a couple of days. So last time I know that you were in Nashville, I think a couple of days after we spoke last time.
Right. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. We've just been doing a lot. We've been trying to get back out on the road and do shows as much as we can, and we were actually pretty fortunate with that. And of course, we did it as safe as we could. But we got lucky enough, and I can't remember last time if we talked if I had signed with Red 11 yet.
That was what was just about to happen. Yeah,
that's what was going on. Okay, yeah. So that obviously got finalized and done, and so I've been with them I don't know, 3 or 4 months now, maybe. And so they really kind of kept me busy for the last little bit, and now we're kind of on a little break. We played our last full band show, I guess, last weekend or the weekend before. I can't remember. But yeah, we were really just trying to stay busy and kind of get back out there the best that we could. And then, me and Trent, I went back up there, I don't like a month and a half ago or so, and we started writing for the next record, and we're starting to look at some outside songs and stuff. So we're hoping to get back in and record hopefully early, like first quarter of 2021. So
now, what have you learned in the last few months? Obviously, still not getting to play a whole lot at shows with very many folks there, obviously. But
right.
Has the technology have you've got to be glad that you're young and understand the technology better than us old guys, right?
Yeah, well, funny you say that. I'm actually not that good with technology. I know the basics, but it's like this is my first time. I was kind of worried because I wasn't sure if it was going to work. But every time I've done Zoom calls, I've always, gotten my computer. So kind of like today, I was asking my brother if he had Wi-Fi at his place, and I'm always scrambling to find Wi-Fi wherever I'm at. And my little brother, who's 14, he's like, you can just download the app and you can just put your headphones in and do it off your phone. And I'm like, no way. So that's why I'm sitting here doing it on my phone. I'm like, this is pretty sweet. But no, definitely the whole technology thing. Like I said, I've learned a lot, and obviously without it, us musicians would have been a little more screwed than we are. So all the live stream stuff and all that stuff is it's a good thing.
Now, what goals have you set for 2021? I mean, we're right around the bend, finally ending what has been 2020. So, how has your goal setting changed, or is it maybe even gone a little more, if you will?
Right. Yeah, 2021. It's kind of one of those things. People always ask like what we're doing in 2021, or if we're going to play here, or if we're going to play there. And I'm like, I tell everyone, and I'm sure as everyone knows, it's like, we don't really know what's going to happen. It's kind of one of those things we got to wait and see. So it's hard to say. But like I said, I think no matter what, because I think no matter what, we're going to get in and record a new record and get that out there. And I know there was a few guys, at least that I know of, that they like had a whole album recorded, but they were going to wait until they could play it live to release it and all this stuff. And I understand that, but at the same time, now with this whole, pandemic going on, I mean, everything's about streaming and social media right now. So I don't see why you wouldn't want to release something, brand new. People are just sitting around listening to music. So that's kind of my main goal, is to go record. I think it should be every time. And I think we're going to be able to do that. We've got about 5 songs together, and I think all of them are better than what I've already got in a good way. So I'm super excited about that. And then obviously, hopefully just tour, a lot more and get our name out there more. Like I said, I kind of signed with Red 11 in a weird time. So I haven't gotten to experience the full kind of what they can really offer you. I've gotten a little bit of it. But again, like you've said, it's in front of, half capacity crowds or, whatever it may be. So hopefully next year things turn around and that Red 11 thing really kicks in. And then that, along with a new record, hopefully it'll be a good year for me.
Now, how has the excitement of the fans when you've been able to be out? Has the excitement level still been there even for the smaller shows?
Oh yeah, no, you could. The people that do go are super. They're happy to be there most of the time, and you can tell they're happy to get out. And I've had plenty of people come up and say, this is me and my husband or me and my wife or, whatever it may be. This is our first time out of the house since this whole thing. So, we're just saying most of the time, they're drunker than you can believe. And you're like, I can tell. but, I'm always like, well, I'm glad y'all are having a good time, and, whatever. But yeah, everyone seems to be really excited that does come out. And, especially, the ones who kind of have been locked up for however many months we're going on now. But it's crazy. It's the shows and the atmosphere and everything. It's just way different. So it's still weird to me.
Now, I believe we met in the early going of the pandemic earlier this year. So I wanted to give you a chance to kind of look back at 2020. I mean, I've seen you grow personally, and just in our talks and in the music as well. As you look back at 2020 and the year and the growth that you've had, how do you summarize what this year has been, even in the midst of all the ugliness?
Right. This year definitely took my career to the next level, and obviously still got a long way to go. But my first full record, Red Dirt, Texas, came out. We released it January 31st, 2020. And so just to see kind of the love that record's gotten, over this year is crazy. Red Dirt, Texas, the song, which was the first single off the record, that went top 10 for me. So that was a first. That did really well. And then, Where You Come In's out right now, and we're watching that go up the charts. And then, another song off there, Still Dancing, got added to that big Texas Music Now playlist on Spotify. And my streams, have gone up way up on Spotify. Radio's been doing great. All kinds of stuff. So I really couldn't ask for, much more. And definitely the exposure's gotten out there. And then obviously, going back to the Red 11 thing, that was huge for me. And then just a couple weeks ago, which we haven't done a press release on it yet. We were waiting till I can go see Trent here in a couple weeks. But Trent Willman actually just came on as my manager. So that's obviously going to open a lot of doors for me and really help me out there. And so there's a lot going on, even though it's been a crappy year. But again, it could be worse.
That's right. And to see folks like Trent, who folks in the industry know that name, and to know that he's got your back and you've got support of somebody like Trent. I mean, what's that mean to you on a professional side?
Right. It means the world to me. And even from the first time I met Trent, I tell everyone, he's the most humble, just nicest, will, give you the shirt off his back kind of guy. And he's really just taken me under his wing. And, it means a lot to me. And especially for him, because he doesn't manage anyone else. He never has done it. He said it was something he always thought about doing, but just never did it. And then, he actually approached us about it. Was saying, hey, me and a partner of mine, would y'all be interested in letting us manage Hayden? And I'm like, well, hell yeah. So I don't think there's anyone better for that job, because he's done the live, the live music thing, been an artist, put out music. Obviously, he knows the production side, and then obviously he's been right there by, Cody Johnson all these years, Kevin Fowler, Roger Krager, and kind of watched even probably some of the management decisions. So I think, I don't think there's anyone better. I think he knows his way around, and I think people are going to know they can't really give him the BS because he's going to know it. So
that's right. That's somebody you got to have in your corner, somebody that they can't pull the BS on, right?
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
Well, Hayden, of course, if folks want to find more information about the music, upcoming tour dates as those become available, and the new music as well, where's the best place, my friend?
Yeah, so the best place and easiest is just my website, which is haydenhaddock.com. And that will have links to all my social media, Spotify tour dates, merchandise, all that stuff. And then obviously I'm on all the social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. I'm thinking about making a TikTok. We'll see. But before that, go follow me on the other ones. Those are all Hayden Haddock.
There you go. You're going to have to work on the steps a little bit for TikTok.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I actually have an account made. I've got like 20 followers, but I don't know what to post. So I have nothing posted yet.
We will wait.
Yeah.
Well, Hayden,
find something.
always good to visit with you, my friend. I wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I look forward to catching up again with you real soon, my friend.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thanks again for joining me for this episode of Good Questions with Cameron Dole. If you ever have a comment, question, or anything else you'd like to know, you can find me on social media on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at GQ with Cam. If you'd like to help out in the funding for this podcast, click on the support tab and follow the instructions. If you have a special guest idea, email me gqwithcam@gmail.com. Again, thanks so much to our good friend Brandon Allen, who penned the music for us. For the theme to Good Questions with Cameron Dole, we'll let him play us out, and we'll be back with episode 2 of season 2 coming up tomorrow.